there are many factors going into this matchup tomorrow between BYU and Oregon. The Cougars' first trip there since 1990, as we talked about. We're excited to talk to Ty Detmer coming up in the next segment. So, who or what will be the deciding factor in the game, in your opinion?
You know, I feel like everybody's so concerned about what BYU's offense is going to be able to do if Puka Nacua and Gunnar Romney don't play again, because now they're on the road. And so much of that attention has been pushed to, well, are those guys in? Can they play? And I get it. Like, BYU wants to have their full accoutrement of offensive weapons, but if Nacua and Romney don't play, Jarom, I'm not that concerned, because I feel like the bigger difference will be on the defensive side of the ball. I feel like the key, the thing that will determine if BYU wins this game tomorrow, is BYU's secondary and linebackers, specifically against Oregon quarterback Bo Nix. And here's why. Bo Nix is not a guy that's going to overwhelm the defense typically. He's a career 60% completion thrower. He's got 44 touchdowns, 18 interceptions between his time at Auburn and in Oregon. And I watched his highlights against Eastern Washington. I saw 5 touchdown passes. Thought, wow, that is impressive. That's a nice bounce-back performance for Bo Nix. Even though it was against Eastern Washington, still, to come back after the debacle against Georgia and do that's pretty good. But upon further review, he's got a bunch of athletes around him that he's just throwing quick little screen passes to try and get on the edge, and those guys are doing the primary amount of the work. And so if BYU can contain the edges and can make Bo Nix have to throw the ball down the field and press a little bit, I feel like he's mistake-prone, Jarom. I think it's the BYU secondary and the linebackers holding the edges, maintaining the leverage on the outside against the speed and athleticism of Oregon, and forcing Bo Nix to press and try and force the ball down the field. I think that will play a huge role in tomorrow's game for BYU. Now, if they can do that, I say advantage BYU. Again, he's not going to overwhelm you. He's not some incredible arm and pass. He at times can be pretty efficient. And I know people are saying, he beat Alabama when he was at Auburn. No, Auburn beat Alabama. Bo Nix didn't beat Alabama. Auburn beat Alabama, okay? So let's throw that off the table. I feel like BYU's defense has a golden opportunity to put him in some really, really taxing and trying and tough positions to make him force the ball down the field. And if he has to do that, I feel like he's going to be mistake-prone. So, Jarom, I am watching Bo Nix versus the BYU linebackers and the BYU secondary. As you pointed out earlier this week in an offline conversation with me, the longest pass play of the season for Oregon is 26 yards, and that includes a game against an FCS opponent. BYU, they love the idea that they don't give up big plays. If Oregon can't connect on big plays tomorrow, another advantage to BYU. What do you think?
To your point, we hope Bo Nix becomes Bo Picks and that he throws interceptions to BYU. Also, Eastern Washington, in that game, Oregon did not have a 20-yard completion in that game. Now, you could argue, it's EWU, it's FCS, you can run the ball, you don't need that. You don't have a single 20-yard throw down the field. I imagine they'll have a couple against BYU, as Baylor did, but there was nothing deep given up by that BYU secondary, to your point. I like that a lot. I think the BYU defense is ready for this, and so I'm saying turnovers. I think turnovers is the #1 factor in deciding this game. What does BYU do extremely well? They don't cough it up. Just one giveaway in 2 games, and it was Jaron Hall up 38, pressing the issue, throwing it into the end zone. If the game's tied, I don't think he makes that throw, so I don't really care about that interception because of when and how it happened. BYU takes care of the ball. Jaron Hall has only thrown 6 picks from the start of last year to now. Are you kidding me? He takes care of the rock. Bo Nix, on the other hand, has thrown 5 in the last 7 games. So I think BYU forces some turnovers. Doesn't mean that BYU won't give it away. I just think BYU will be even or positive in this game. And I think the Cougars come in much better than maybe we think. I think we think BYU's playing Nike. They're playing Oregon. Oregon is certainly talented, fast, traditionally spread, and very good skill position players. They got a very experienced offensive line. Everyone's back. BYU's a better team. Vegas thinks Oregon's favored because of location. But BYU's a better team who's way more experienced. I'm also banking on another factor, that Jaron Hall will outplay Bo Nix, to your point. Jaron Hall is ready for this moment. He's going to hug the Oregon defense to the tune of some good numbers, efficiency, and a win for BYU. I really feel confident, like last week, where BYU's going to walk in and play well. We felt good last week, Spence, reminding people. that without Puka and Gunnar, we still like the BYU receivers. And this is before that man, Chase Roberts, had the game of his life. 8 for 122 and 1. We'll see if Puka and or Gunnar can go. I'm not expecting either. If one of them play, great. If not, you got to feel confident that the BYU run game can do better against a lesser defensive line, although that D-line's good. I just think Baylor's was better. And BYU's going to walk in there and be able to control the tempo a bit with the run game.
Is Oregon better than Baylor as a football team? Just ask yourself that question. I want everybody watching, listening to ask yourself that question. Is Oregon a better football team than Baylor? Certainly Oregon has a bigger facade and a much bigger fan base and ties to Nike than Baylor, but are the Ducks better than the Baylor Bears? And I am gathering that most of you are saying, well, no. Like, Baylor's more physical. They're more put together. They're defending Big 12 champions. Like, they're back. Baylor's really good. So why would we, as a BYU community, not look at this and think BYU's got a great chance to win tomorrow's game against Oregon? Yes, I know that they're a 3.5 to 4 point underdog. That's largely based on the fact that Oregon has won 29 consecutive non-conference games at Autzen Stadium. But I point out this, Jarom. What happened when BYU went into Madison, Wisconsin in 2018 with a much younger version of this team and offensive line and faced Wisconsin's 41-game non-conference home winning streak? Well, the Cougars snapped it. And what happened when BYU went into Nebraska in 2015? And Nebraska never loses season openers, especially not against lowly BYU in a non-conference showdown. BYU snapped it. This feels like a team of streak busters. They snap things, okay? This is the team largely that ended the 9-game losing streak to Utah. Why not have this BYU team be the team that in week 3, they come to the Pacific Northwest as an underdog and they look history in the face and say, forget you. It's time to rewrite our own history, and it's going to happen tomorrow. Why are we so afraid of the facade of Oregon football? I don't get it. I know it's a national brand, but when you look at ones to ones, twos to twos on the depth chart, BYU matches up very well with this team if they can contain the edges and make Bo Nix press a little bit, getting back to the original point. Advantage BYU. And if Gunnar, Romney, and Puka Nacua play, all the better. If not, I like BYU's chances because I think they are mature. I think they're ready for this. They've heard all week long about all the weird things that happened in week 3. They're ready, Jarom. They're ready to play tomorrow. And if the defense shows up and plays well, I like BYU's chances.
Why wouldn't BYU win this game? To me, it's turnovers. If they just cough it up like they did against Boise State, certainly Oregon much better than that Boise State team. Oregon is good. I just think BYU is better. And for all the reasons you just outlined. I also think the defense is going to show up again. This is a defense that through 2 games, South Florida and now Baylor, has not given up 300 yards in a game. Certainly Oregon is going to put up 300 yards, but I don't think Oregon puts up 400, Spence. And I think Oregon is sub 24 points in this game as well. I think BYU gets into the high 20s, low 30s, and that is enough to win this game. Coming up in our guarantees, I'll tell you by how much. But I believe, in my incredibly biased opinion, that BYU is going to win this game.